Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show, hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
What an uplifting video that was. Thank you, Roland. We're going to have a chat about that. Brings a smile to my face. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we are the proud earner of the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, which means we have over 100,000 subscribers on our one channel, and we're headed that way on our second channel. Our show today is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and we're going to be talking all about blood sugar, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. How can we learn to monitor our blood sugar and how it affects our behavior? Joining me is the star of our show, Mr. Roland Friedl, a dear friend. We've been working together now, I think, 4 years, as he continues to drive his beautiful motorhome through Europe and find places to broadcast. He is an entrepreneur, an advocate for men. He's an author. He's owned many different businesses in his life. In fact, I think he has 8 websites that all go into one. And he really promotes his wireless lifestyle. Wireless lifestyle rocks. So let's welcome Mr. Roland Friedl to the program. Hello.
Hello to the Checkman. Hello to the audience, and happy Easter to everyone.
Yes, happy Easter. It's actually a holiday in many places around the world.
Yeah, it's a bank holiday.
Yeah, for sure. So where in the world are you today?
I am in Belgium, a country that was, to be honest, never on my bucket list. and it won't be in the future. No, okay. People are lovely here, really. The landscape is nice here. I'm standing here in a kind of national park, so on a parking spot lot, and it's pretty cool here. And people are very friendly, so everybody's greeting when you walk in the dog or something like that, because I don't know anyone here, so except a few people. So I'm in Belgium. Yeah, it's okay. It's yeah, but it was never on my bucket list. So Belgium, it's part of the Benelux, so it's west of Germany, a little north of France, and south of Netherlands, so in Europe.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you for sharing that geography. Are you still traveling with your dog and cat?
I'm still traveling with my dog, with Aloha, yes, but not with my cat. No. The cat Phoenix isn't with me since 1.5 years. So I gave it back to my ex-girlfriend at the time. Actually, when I moved the first time for winter to Sicily, I gave it back. So Felix is not with me anymore. Unfortunately, I missed the cat. I missed this boy. He's a crazy one. But to be honest, he damaged too much stuff in my motorhome. So I gave him back, and he's back with my ex-girlfriend, but because she's the owner, so she's back. So I'm with my dog, and to be honest, it's still okay with the dog, and it's a little bit less work because as much as I love this cat, it's a very special one. You know, he was always a stromer, always outside in the night, and sometimes I was a little bit scared he's not coming back. You know, especially when you stay in the wild, not on a camping site, and then. Actually, it happened once that the police knocked at midnight and said, sorry, you have to leave. And I gotta say, sorry, officer, I have to wait for my cat to come back. I guess it wouldn't work. So, yeah, no, the cat is not with me anymore, but I'm traveling with my dog, yeah, and I'm fine now.
You know, I remember now when you said you gave the cat back. Sorry about that, because I was thinking I haven't seen the cat in the pictures, but now I remember you told me. So yeah, it's interesting. You know, before we get into blood sugar, I just want to comment because you are traveling alone. I mean, aside from your dog, but you are alone, and you are going to different places, different countries alone, which takes a lot of courage if you think about it, because I know people who are still in the same town and haven't left the town most of their life. They're afraid to go and travel. People are afraid to travel by themselves. What is it about traveling alone that you love that's really a positive for you?
Well, first of all, like Jacqueline and the audience, I love, to be honest, not every day, but most of the days, I love to expand my so-called comfort zone. I love it, to go out of my comfort zone, and like it did, you know, when I facilitate trainings, a new customer, new people, new content. I have no idea where to go. I love this, and the same is with traveling. I love to go out of my comfort zone, find new places, meet incredible, interesting people. But actually, at the end, it's more about a journey to myself, to get to know myself better. And in the beginning, I was traveling with my girlfriend. We're not together since 3 years. And since 3 years, I'm traveling alone. And the difference is, it was a bit honest. It was a little bit scary in the beginning, to be honest, because I was always in a long-term relationship, always since I'm 15 years old. Can you imagine? So I was always in long-term relationships, and then 3 years ago, bang up and singles in the time, and it was a little bit scary in the beginning, to be honest. But I found out it has many advantages to travel by yourself. First of all, you really get to know yourself much better. That's one thing I mentioned. Secondly, is I found out that I really was a Mr. Nice Guy. I always did what my girlfriend or my wife wanted. You know, she wants to go there, she wants to do this, she wants to do this, she wants to do this. And I always did. There was always serving and supportive. Now it was really for the last 3 years, I can do what I want. I go where I want. I stay as long as I want. I eat what I want, and so on. So it's more about me. Was a little bit challenged in the beginning. I give you some examples. I see a nice restaurant and I say, let's go in. And I said, it's not about that I don't like to lunch or dine by myself. That's not the issue, because I dine alone, also my motorhome. It's more about, should I really do it or not? It's just me, you know, like I'm worth enough to go out for myself and stuff like that. It to me, it has many advantages. The other thing is what I found out: when you travel alone, you're not together with a person you love. So, meaning you're not sticking together with someone. You're much more open to meet other people. So I meet much more other people, and other people have less fear or whatever to get in touch with you, because you're alone, and they know they're disturbing. So you meet a lot of interesting people. There are sometimes, you know, when you see a marvelous sunset or an incredible landscape or whatever, so you want to share something beautiful with someone. That's what I miss sometimes. And also, you know, most of my days are brilliant. Some days are really good, and a few days are really shit, to be honest. And on the shit days, you know, when you don't feel good, it would be cool that someone is here and to support you. But at the end, it's an incredible journey. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to settle down or go in a relationship, but not for every price, to be honest. So for me, it's much more important to be happy than sticking into a relationship where I'm not happy. And I'm traveling alone. That's true, but most of the time I don't feel lonesome. But I felt many times lonesome in a relationship, and I guess that's worse.
Yeah, very well said. I love how you pulled that all together. It's, to me, I think it's better to be alone than be in a relationship that's not working, that you just decide to stay in it because you don't want to be alone. And being alone is an art form, I think. I think it's amazing. I just spent the holiday by myself, and here I am. I'm still here. I'm still smiling. So there's a lot to be said about learning to be in your own skin and just being comfortable with who you are. So
Yeah.
we're going to go into the topic now about balancing blood sugar naturally. You and I were having a conversation backstage. I thought it was very interesting about pharmaceuticals. And, pharmaceuticals can affect your blood sugar, I would think, depending if you take it on an empty stomach or when you're taking it. It's also interesting when you have a chronic illness, you may want to go off of medication, but it's that fear of being sick again and going back into what you originally had as a problem that was at least being remediated or into remission by the medication. What are your thoughts?
Well, I guess my answer is maybe not what you're expecting or audience expecting, but I'm 60 now, and I have a lot of life experience, and I started in the health industry. I started working with supplements with many doctors and health takers in 1994, so over 30 years ago. I strongly believe you have what you believe that you have. So when you believe in something, when you get a diagnosis from a medical doctor, that's why I avoid them, and you get a diagnosis and you believe in this diagnosis, you're going to have it. That's my strong belief, because everything is energy. We create our own world. We know this. We create our own world. It's just energy. When we believe in it, when we're stuck in it, we have it. Because there are so many studies on. Let's give an example. When you look at studies with placebos, when you believe that the medicine is working, but you got the placebo, it's working. This means what it means is whatever you believe, it's working. Even a placebo. We know this from patients who have tremendous pain, really tremendous pain. They can't stand it anymore. And even when they got a placebo, they felt a release. So I believe it's very in our system. I had a tumor, and I had one large here, one was there, and the second one I didn't go for surgery. I was more in meditation, and I didn't believe, and I said, no, that's not me. I got rid of it. So I know it's more about what you believe. It's one thing. Sounds a little bit spooky, but it's all about energy. But nevertheless, there are people who are sick outside. They depend on surgery, and it's good that we have medicine, of course, no doubt. It's good that we have pharmaceuticals. I strongly believe that most people are too fast in taking in pharmaceuticals, and too much. That's what I believe. I guess they're absolutely, they have their place in our world. They're necessary. No way, but I think we take them too fast and too much. That's what I believe.
All right, so you really have control somewhat about your destiny and for your health journey, and having positive energy and positive thoughts about what's going on.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, I was always a little bit strange, to be honest. When I was a kid, when I felt sick, when I felt sick, I went straight to bed. I went to sleep, and I refused to eat. People will call it fasting. I had no idea about fasting when I was a kid. I refused to eat. Take medicine. I refused to eat, to take hot tea. I only wanted cold water. Just water. And then I was eating some fruits. Years later, I found out these fruits are really very beneficial into supporting the immune system. The anti-inflammatory and stuff like that. So I was into berries. I love berries, wild berries. I don't know. I guess I had a natural access to that as a kid, and since that, no, not at all. I mean, I was on pharmaceutical because I had some bad accidents, so some cars almost killed me or stuff like that. So I was consciousness in hospital, and whatever they gave me my blood system, but I never felt good about it. Never ever. To be honest, never ever. And I don't take it. But that's my personal stuff. And as a short disclaimer, I'm not a medical doctor. Just, ladies and gentlemen, I was speaking about myself. Yeah, that's important. And many years ago, from one of my teachers, I found out about pain. And he said, when you feel a pain, let's say in your left hand, your body gives you a signal. And when you meditate into this pain, you breathe in this pain, then the body tells you exactly where the pain is coming from. It's not from the left hand, maybe it's coming from another part of your body. So, but to be honest, I'm very happy that besides all the accidents I had in my life, I never was really sick. So but maybe it's because I have a very natural access to staying in nature, eating clean, drinking water, exercising, or playing as a kid outside and not in front of a video game. So I don't know if I'm just lucky, or it's because the last 60 years how I behaved. I cannot tell you. I have no idea. But I don't take pharmaceuticals at all. I see twice a year my dentist just to clean up my teeth. That's all I do. Every 5 years I go to do checkups. Of course, that's what I do. But no, nothing else. Sorry.
That's okay. So, yes, thank you for that disclaimer. We are not medical experts. We are not giving health directives. We are just having a conversation about our own experiences. So, what is it? What is blood sugar? Can you give a description of that?
Well, blood sugar is the blood sugar is when you have too much sugar in your blood. That's blood sugar. You have too much sugar. You can measure the amount of sugar in your blood system, and we all know that it's not healthy. It's not healthy. One thing is that sugar produces inflammation, which is the cause for many different illnesses. And the other thing is, when you have a high blood sugar, is that your body has a problem to produce insulin in a proper way, because insulin is bringing your sugar down. Of course, we need sugar. There's no doubt. It's not about avoiding sugar at all. That's not the point. But when we eat too much sugar, and your body, well, actually, we have two types. When we talk about blood sugar, maybe it's all about diabetes. We have diabetes 1 and 2. There's two different forms of diabetes. But when the blood sugar is too high, it means that your sugar intake is too high. Or maybe we go a little bit deep what sugar means. And the other thing is that your body cannot produce insulin in the proper way to bring the sugar down. But it's not healthy, not at all. High blood sugar.
So I found when I was eating sugar, and I haven't been eating sugar for a while, but when I was eating sugar, I was constantly craving sugar. And then after I would eat it, I would have this tremendous amount of energy, and then it would come like crashing down. And then you would need more sugar, you'd need something. And it kind of reminds me of when you watch, because I don't have personal experiences, but watching television shows where people are taking a certain kind of drug that brings them up, then they have something to bring them down, that's something to bring. It feels like that's what sugar is in that capacity.
Sugar is a drug, and some people say it's worse than cocaine because you have easy access everywhere and it's legal,
Mm-hmm.
So most people have a sugar addiction. And what you described, Dr. Jekyll, what's happened is, it happened to everyone, is when you have a high sugar intake. I give an example. Kids in the morning, when they eat cereals, they're full of sugar, chocolate, or honey, or whatever. So they have a high sugar intake in the morning. But what goes up is the sugar goes up, bang, like this. So they're full of energy, they're hyper nervous, and but afterwards, because they're still young, their insulin production is working when you're not on diabetes 1. So the insulin brings the sugar down immediately, boom. So you have a peak, and then it goes down, boom. And these kids fall in a hole. They cannot focus in school. They're not concentrated. They're tired. So what they need is another sugar intake. That's going up and down the whole day. That's what happened. And to adults too. Of course, when you eat too much sugar, and what to say, I don't say it in English, low chain sugar, meaning pure sugar in sweets, or we don't talk about sugar from fruits. We don't talk about sugar from from natural sources, but we have sugar in all the sweets and cereals, in all this in this industrial food. There's a hell of sugar inside, and this sugar produces very high peaks, and then the insulin goes down, brings the sugar down, and boom, and you really fall in a hole, in an energy hole. That's what happens, and that's why people, they get another sugar intake, they coffee and I don't know, a donut or a snack or whatever, and it goes up and down, up and down. That's what's happening the whole day, and after a while, your system is collapsing, and the insulin the hormones and the insulin go crazy, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So in order to find a way to monitor your blood sugar, I think that for people who have diabetes, I know they can test their blood sugar. Is this something that all of us can do on a regular basis? Maybe there's a smartwatch or there's something that we can do to find out our blood sugar levels?
Yeah, you can do this, but I said at the beginning, when you focus on the things, it also gets dangerous. When you worry the whole day, and it's the same like this calorie counting. It's not about calorie counting or sugar measure. It's about living a healthy lifestyle, and understanding what effects it has on your body and also on your emotions and on your spirit, on your mind when you eat this or that or drink this or that. We have to understand this, I guess, and it's more about having a healthy lifestyle. And again, for me, a healthy lifestyle doesn't mean an ascetic lifestyle. Absolutely not. I love an ice cream. To be honest, I was in Italy last winter, and for months, and I had an ice cream every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, one ice cream. I really enjoyed it. So I didn't have it on a daily basis. Or I have I'm Belgium here. Belgium is famous for chocolate. So I got a box of Belgium chocolate. So I enjoy it, but not every day, whatever you call it. But what I do is, I personally do is I avoid processed food, industrial processed food, because there's so much sugar. Because sugar is so cheap, and it's easy to make consumers addicted to buy more and more of the products with sugar. So I avoid industrial. So I eat sugar, of course, because as I said, I love chocolate. I love an ice cream, a good one, but not on a daily basis. One thing, and but I try to avoid sugar that is hidden in products, and most people are not aware. I give you an example. I found in my motorhome, I have a huge storage with some cans. You never know what's happening. So I brought not many, but a few cans, and there was a can of actually an American company. How it's called? This special beans. How you call them? It was beans, but pre-cooked beans. I forgot the word, but anyway. And I was looking at this can. I just wanted to see the expired date, and then I was reading the ingredients. I said, "Oh my God, baked beans, a very famous company in the U.S. Baked beans." I had this baked beans, and I was reading the ingredients, and I said, "My God, 57% sugar." Of baked beans. So I didn't look at expired date. I just throw it away in the garbage. Can you imagine almost 60% sugar in baked beans? I didn't know that. The taste fell. I didn't know that. So I avoid, processed food, pre-cooked food, and stuff like that. I try to avoid. It means sometimes, actually, on Saturday I was cooking for myself a nice pasta with some shrimp, So, but most of the time I avoid carbs like pasta, bread, and stuff like that.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because if you think about canned food in general, excuse me, I'm not saying specific, I'm just giving you a general statement. It lasts, or can last, for a very long time. So how is that possible? Because if you're buying fresh food, you know that it's going to go bad. But we buy something that's in a can, we go, "Oh, this is healthy and it's going to be around for long." It's not healthy, probably, because there's all kinds of things in there to make it last. And the other thing is, I love to talk about this. You mentioned this, is that sugar is actually, the term sugar is replaced with other terms that people don't necessarily know what they are. So when you're reading the ingredients, the ingredients on the label, usually whatever comes first has the most amount of quantity in that item. And so they've found creative ways, the manufacturers, I guess, to put sugar into different terms. Can you think of any, like high fructose, I think is one. Can you think of any others?
Fructose, dextrose, they have many different names now because people get more and more clever. They get more and more educated. And I always say, don't blame the fat and the meat, what the sugar does to you. So people get more and more aware about that it's the sugar and not the fat, the healthy fat, the animal fat. And so people get more aware. So the industry, finds new ways of sugar. Yeah, actually there are different forms of sugar. You have sugar from sugar cane. You can use corn, crop. There are different ways to produce sugar. They also finding new names to really to fool the consumers. But the best way is to get fooled just if it's possible. I know, with this modern lifestyle, some people say I don't have the time. My question is always, I know that time is very important, and I guess we only should invest our time in really the very most important things in life. And for me, number one is my health, because if I'm not healthy and fit, I cannot perform in my job, in my business. And secondly, when I finish my job and my business, whatever hour it is or on the weekends, I cannot enjoy my leisure time, my vacation. I cannot enjoy my family, whatever. So for me, health is very important. So I said, that's why it's important. I take the time and really have a look what I'm eating, and I found out the best way is to cook for myself freshly. And I think you can really have delicious food that is not very expensive in buying the ingredient, and it's not very, how to say it. Sometimes I cook things that last for takes me 20 minutes or something like that. You really can cook fast stuff that is really healthy, but it's another thing. But I come back to sugar. I mentioned, I love chocolate, good chocolate, and I had a favorite brand I was always eating. I'm not mentioning the brand now, but over many years. And I don't know if you find out, but the cacao is going always more expensive, and cacao and nuts always more expensive and more expensive. And I really have a very fine taste because I don't smoke and stuff like that. And I realized that the chocolate that I was eating for years is not the same anymore, because cacao is so expensive. So they put more sugar in, to equalize it. And that's what happening in many products. It's more and more sugar, more and more hidden sugar. And it's really dangerous because most people are not aware of it. And secondly, even for me, I use glasses just for reading, but sometimes, the ingredients are written so small. It's even difficult for me for my glasses. But I always do it. I take my smartphone when sometimes I buy something like that, and I make a screenshot and then I zoom it so I can read it, because the industry is very clever to hide it. But it's really thicker, and to be honest, most people believe in commercials, and they believe that it's healthy. And when I talk to moms, I said, why are you buying your kids cereals or whatever it is? I said, because in the commercial said a doctor made an announcement, or a nutritionist, scientist, or whatever, which is a paid actor, by the way, makes a commercial, and people believe in what's going on TV, and that's why they buy the things to their kids. But it's not good. So we really have to be aware what we buy. Absolutely.
Definitely. And I think this really should go without saying, but I'm going to say it. I think we need to return to common sense. I mean, things make sense and things don't make sense. And because someone goes on a television, like we could say something that's completely ridiculous, and people have to decide, does that make sense to me? Would a reasonable person agree with that statement? And so if you are eating something, cereal, for example, I'm not going to say all cereals, but I remember when I was growing up, there was a lot of pushing for, cereals that were all sugar. I mean, the one, I'm not going to say the name of it, there were loops. They were all different colors. Like, and for example, I can go out to dinner and have a piece of fish and it tastes absolutely delicious because I know it's soaked in butter. It's dripping with butter. And so common sense says if I eat that every day, that's going to be unhealthy. So I'm just asking people to have, use their common sense. Does it make sense or not? If it tastes really sweet, there's some kind of sugar in there. So that being said, I'd love to have a conversation. I've seen some companies advertise they're using monk fruit. as a sweetener. Do you know anything about monk fruit?
Yeah, I mean, there are different forms. You can monk fruit or stevia or whatever it is. There are different forms of sweeteners. It's my personal opinion. Okay, if I want something sweet, I have something sweet with the real sugar, or with honey. Boom, yeah.
Mhm.
And because and then I really enjoy it, without regretting it. I absolutely enjoy it. Or I want to have a real buster, or I want whatever it is. I want the real stuff, but not on a daily basis, and enjoy it. And at the point is, people want to have it every day, and then I said, yeah, it's not healthy, so maybe we find a substitute of it. Oh gosh. Again, I always say when I see my friends, why are you doing this, eating this, or drinking this? Yeah, because that's evil. I said, no, man, it's not evil. It's okay. It's about when we talk about what is poison. Poison is everything that is too much. When the doses is too much, and sugar is not evil, not at all. But it's the quantity. That's the it's the quantity. It's not that we should totally avoid it, not at all. It's just the quantity, and the other thing is, first of all, I want to state something, because you mentioned cereals. What most people don't know is that breakfast. We always say breakfast is the healthiest meal in the day. It's not. It's never been. Breakfast was invented by the cereal industry in the 50s. And there are some very old commercials on TV. And breakfast was invented by the cereals industry to sell their stuff together with the dairy industry, because cereals on milk. So we never had breakfast before never ever. So breakfast is something new from the 50s. But anyway, so there are many different forms of sugar and subsidized sugar. I use the product, to be honest, because sometimes I bake a cake in my motorhome, and I never buy sugar. And to be honest, I have sugar in my motorhome. When I go to a nice cafe, when I sit on the beach in Spain or wherever, or here in Belgium, there is also a nice cafe here. I have a nice iced coffee. So they serve, the small package of sugar, because I don't use sugar mostly. So I always bring the short packages with me to my motorhome. So if there's a guest and wants a coffee with sugar, I have sugar, because I don't buy sugar. Anyway, but I love to bake sometimes a cake. When I was in Norway and Scandinavia, when I found some blueberries in the wild or somewhere, so I love to bake. Or in Sicily, they have this in winter, this amazing, huge sweet lemons. They always say, yeah, a lemon is sour, yeah, when it's not mature, but when it's mature and you open it, you bite in it, within 2-3 seconds it's sweet, because the sugar is inside. So I was baking lemon cake, and I need sugar, but I don't have sugar, so I buy an artificial product. I forgot the name. I throw everything away, because I found out that when dogs eat a little bit of it, they die immediately. And sometimes it happened that somebody visit friends and they bring a cake, and they made it with the sugar substitute, and the family doesn't know it, and the dog gets a bite of it, it dies immediately. I throw all the shit out. When it's not good for the dog, maybe it's not good for me. So, and with stevia, I don't like the taste of stevia, to be honest. I don't like the taste. So again, it's an option for people who are suffering from diabetes to subsidize it. Yeah. We all know that, for example, aspartame is not really healthy for your brain. It can produce cancer. And then people say, yeah, depending on the quantity you eat, yeah, but so many people, especially in the US, they're drinking, because I don't drink it at all, not at all. This soft drinks, and when you go on Coke Zero or stuff like that, there's a lot of aspartame inside, and people drink and consume too much, and that's not really healthy. So again, my personal point of view, if you want to enjoy sugar, but it's all about the quantity. If you're on diabetes, if you have a diabetes 1 or 2 and you have issues with that, of course you have to substitute it. Yeah, absolutely, you have to.
Yeah, for sure. What's interesting, and I don't want to use any names, but someone I was very close to who's not here anymore, they ate a ton of sugar, 5 sodas a day. I mean, for most of their life, a big part of their diet was sugar. And the person lived into their 80s. And I often thought to myself, had the person not been eating sugar, would they still be here? And who knows, right? Who knows what the answer is? So it is kind of interesting, because I know someone else who I was close to, who lived into their 90s and was like a chain smoker. Like, there's really no rhyme or reason for these things. But I'd like to talk about in the last part of our show, how does stress influence or impact the choices that we make when it comes to our food?
Yeah. Good question. Because I experience it myself, when my life gets stressful, especially emotional stress, when I have emotional stress, then I'm get lazy and I hang more around on my sofa here, meaning I do less exercise. I walk less, my dog. So I'm less outside, I'm hanging more around. And when I'm hanging more around, I'm more unsatisfied and then I have more craving for sweet. That's one thing. That was the experience when I observe myself what's happened. When I'm in a good mood and I exercise, I walk my dog, I'm out in nature, I have absolutely no cravings for sweet. So yeah, so it has an impact. When we are not in a good mood, we tend to satisfy ourselves or to give us the love or the warmth or whatever by food, by a warm buster, or by, I don't know, a nice milkshake or whatever it is, a supersized milkshake or some candies or whatever. I experience this too once in a while. Yes, it happens to me too, to be honest. But I realized it very fast and I said, okay, this day was a cheat day, was okay. Let's go back on track, and it's okay. It happens, yeah, absolutely. And this is what happened to most people, that they don't really exercise. They're mostly sitting in the offices. They're getting out of the bed and have some sugar coffee in the morning. They drive the cars to the office. They're sitting. They're sitting in the office. They're driving the car back. Then they're sitting in front of a TV set or whatever. And so when you don't exercise a lot, and then there's more craving for bad stuff. Absolutely. There's really a connection between this. And maybe you experience it when you really work out in a gym or you play tennis, really, and you really sweat. For me, working out means sweating, really sweating. So when you really sweat, I don't know, Dr. Chagler, what's your experience? But when I work out, I have no cravings for sweet stuff or fast food or something. I want also something that is really full of nutrients for my body to give my body the energy back. That's my experience. But as I said, as I hang around and have a bad day, emotionally I'm in a bad mood, then I have more cravings for stuff like that. For me, it's easy because I don't buy the stuff, so I don't have it. But I have the craving. To be honest, I have the craving, and sometimes I have a large motorhome with many different stripes. And look, is there something I forgot? Maybe there's something. I always look around, like a tiger in the cage, and luckily I don't have it most of the time. And luckily I stay in the wild. There's no shop or something close. So after a while, it goes away.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Roland. The cravings do go away. I don't know if it's 21 days or whatever it is, but you have to break that pattern. And I always say that a good way to do that is your why. What is your why? And what will you feel like and what will your life look like on the other side of giving it up? Because I do know people who have given up, let's say, smoking, and then they're drinking more coffee, or they've given up gambling, like all the things that are addictions, and then they go to another one. And again, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but the why has to be so strong that that's what I would think drives you to give up the sugar, or sugar in moderation, as you mentioned. I know at times in my life when I was eating sugar and I go grocery shopping, I don't know if it's still the case, but the perimeter, I guess, of the food stores where the healthy food is. And I would just go right for the bakery. I mean, Zoom, let me go to that bakery and see what they have that I love. And now I don't even think about it. I mean, it's not even there. So I do think that you can get these cravings under control if your why is strong enough. And if you prioritize health like you do and I do. I was just interviewed recently and someone said, I see you're working out all the time and you did 1,000 classes and this and that. How do you find time to fit it in with everything? And I said, I don't fit it in. It's a priority. It comes first. My health comes first.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's same with the craving. As I said, it's your mindset, your why. And always the question is, do you really give up your discipline and your goals just for a short satisfaction? Whatever it
Right.
is, whatever it is, alcohol, cigarette, or sugar, And for me, sugar is the worst drug because it's free, it's everywhere. Yeah, I mean, even at the gas station, when I'm buying gas, when I fill my motorhome. How many men also buying sweets and stuff at the gas station? It's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. It's, and this is in our society. Everything is available. I remember when I was a kid. Let's go 50 years back. And there was no supermarket. There were small stores, grocery stores. We know the owners. And they had some sweets, some candies. So they have it in a glass, not in a plastic pack, in a glass. And you ask for a candy, whatever it was, and he took a kind of, I don't know what to call it, and he gave you one. And you paid for it, I don't know, 5 pence or something. Yeah, or maybe you afford two, something like that. So I had candies in my childhood, but in a very rare moment and in a very small quantity. You didn't buy it in bag like this. It was, I remember this, and it was something special to have a candy. It was not available every day. It was something special, like on Christmas or on your birthday, you get a birthday cake, or on Easter, we had this chocolate bunnies or stuff like that. It was something special, and it was not available every day. And I guess, and again, for me, chocolate, all the stuff, it's not evil. It's about it's about the quantity, and that makes the poison out of it. And I think it's for me, it's the same. Sometimes I go to supermarket because I need bottled water or stuff like that. So I go to supermarkets, but and I also sometimes have to cross, where this cookies are and chocolates are, and I look at it, but I have no craving. Sometimes I look at it because I wonder if there's something newer in the market, or sometimes I just look around. Is there something that I remember from my childhood? Is there still this brand on the market? So I'm just curious. And then I wonder how expensive. I don't know how it's in the US, but here a small chocolate is $4. It's very expensive at the moment, chocolate, because maybe it's the cacao is expensive. So but I have no cravings to buy it. Absolutely. So when I want something sweet, when I'm in Italy, as I said, I go for an amazing Italian ice cream, not a supermarket, this industrial ice cream. I don't like the shit, but a good ice cream. Or when I know something like here in Belgium, getting a small box of this special Belgian chocolate, I really enjoy it. And I think, I guess what we really have to learn is enjoy things, not just consuming it without thinking about it, watching TV and eating ice cream or whatever it is, yeah. So really enjoy the moment, be in the present moment. And maybe it sounds a little bit weird for some people, but when I am in Italy and I go to this ice, how they call it, gelaterias, yeah, on the beach, I take this thing with me, and I sit there and I look at the sea, and I felt like I was 5 years old when I first time was in Italy. So for me, it's a childhood memory, and I'm so in the present moment. I enjoy this ice cream. I don't talk to anyone. It's just the ice cream and me, and I absolutely enjoy it, And I think we have to really come back and learn to be in the present moment and enjoy things like an ice cream, a good cake, or whatever, and not just because I'm bored, I'm unhappy, I'm in a bad mood, and just putting the stuff in without thinking.
I think that is a great way to sum up this episode. It's so true. I think it's being present, keeping your head where your feet are. If you're going to enjoy some chocolate, then really enjoy it. And I've seen people who are eating something, like, let's say they're having a dessert, and the whole time, why am I eating this? I hate myself for eating. Then don't eat it. Either enjoy it or just step away and say, not today. So, Roland, we've got another show coming up right after this. Who is a good client for you? Are you taking on clients? Are you looking for men for your men's work? What would you like to share with people out there?
Who is a good client? Good question. Somebody who wants to live an independent, free life, meaning, not being manipulated, getting out of the treadmill and live life and enjoy life to the fullest. That's a client for me. So because that's what I do since I'm a teenager. I live the life I want to live, and not my parents tell me or society tells me. So if you have the feeling that there's something more to come, there's something more to be, something more to explore, just contact me, and maybe we find a way how I can support you or go some miles with you be on your side, and I know, because in the beginning it's sometimes a little bit scary if we go in a different direction. So if you want to learn more about your business, maybe do your business differently, maybe you want to look for a better relationship or live a different lifestyle, you're more than happy to contact me. The best way is send me an email. My email address is office@mynamerolandfriedl.com. That's the easiest way to contact me. And then let's take it from there. I'm always curious to meet people and interact with people, and it's all about caring, sharing, and networking. Thanks.
Thank you, Roland. And as we close out, let's talk about how you look pretty much the same as the picture here. How old is this picture?
This picture was made when I was still living in Mallorca, so it must be 5 years ago. Well, give me a sec. 2018. It must be 2018 or 19.
Yeah, you still look pretty much the same.
Yeah. 7 years ago.
Yeah, good for you. Your healthy lifestyle's working.
Thank you.
All right, we will see you back here shortly for the Mallorca connection. Thank you, Roland.
Thank you. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Easter. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Please do go and contact Roland. He gave his email address, which we'll put up again. It's office@rolandfriedl.com. And for people listening on an audio platform only, that's OFFICE at ROLANDFRIEDL.com. We are going to go over to our sponsors now, and we'll be right back very shortly. So please stay with us here at USA Global TV and Radio.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacqueline.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting. We're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.